So, my people, welcome back. As we continue here, Skunk H TV. As always, greetings to everyone. Greetings to everyone. I must apologize for last week because, we had some technical issues in the early part of the segment, so we're unable, to stream. So we had to, and then the other show started at a certain time, so that had to, start. So we end up. So I must apologize for the dedicated listeners and fans, people who tuned in to listen to the Naked Truth, and we weren't able to, provide you with that lesson last week. So we do apologize for that. But here we are again. Today it's another Friday, and we are here again on the Naked Truth. So welcome everyone. Greetings in the name of the Most High, the giver of life, the giver of all things. We're grateful and we're thankful we're alive here and having this experience. There's many trials and tribulation and things of that sort. We see these things comes and goes, right? But we're able to be here today. We're able to transcend these small problems or difficult problems, and we're in a space of contentment, some of us, right? So I want to say thanks to everyone again for tuning in. And we're here, as you know, this channel, and we talk about the truth, basically, as raw and as naked as it be. So you understand the name of the channel, the name of the program is called The Naked Truth. That's what we do here, Skunk H TV. Today, guess what? As you can see the title of the video, what is a woman? Strong woman. What is a woman? And that's the topic today. That's what we're going to talk about. Someone, keep asking me to talk about this, so of course, why not? All right. So it's a while now, that some people have been asking me to talk about this topic, and not that I'm before I didn't want to really get into it. I was more focused on because when I started out, we're talking about the Bible, right, and the authenticity of the book, and whether or not it was the word of God or not, and how much of the book has been fabricated. We're still, and we did many series of this already. So, and we're definitely going to do more of it. And I'm hoping that, you guys can tune in and try to get a clearer picture. So, of course, we have to discuss more because it's an abundant, of information. You understand? It's a vast amount of information, and I have to break all of this down to you guys. So, to bring some clarity to the context. So, therefore, not only the Bible that we discuss here, we also talk about personal lifestyle, marriage, life in general, and, politics, low and high. You understand? Spirituality. I mean, everything basically that you can think about. As long as it's something to talk about and discuss regarding the truth, that's what we do here on the Naked Truth. So, of course, I'm truly elated to sit with you guys and talk about, the reality of life, man. The reality, that which is reality, non-fictional, plain, straight reality, and just the naked truth, as you see the title, displayed there. So, welcome everyone. We're here. We talk about women. As I said, it's been a while, a long topic, and this is going to be. I mean, not if I use the term controversial, because we don't really care about that. We care about the truth. How something becomes controversial because it go against what other people, doubt or believe, right, or what they don't want to accept. So now you say it, and because it's the truth, it becomes, well, some controversial thing. There's no such thing, right? A person don't like what you say, right? Because it doesn't go align with their lifestyle or what they accept to be their lifestyle. So if you say something pertaining to this, oh, it's controversial. Whatever. You understand me? No such thing, my friends, my brothers and sisters out there, compadres, and everyone out there who is tuning in and taking a peek. What's going on? So we talk about what is a woman, and definitely I want to start, and I'm going to wait for some people to come in as we get into this, because this is a very important thing. So before we get into the topic of what is a woman, as we talk about this, and a lot of people have problems, I mean, problems. When I say problems, whether it's mental or whatever it is, they have problems in accepting the reality. So we're going to talk about that. Try to bring some context with this, right? Because it's very important, right? And I have to start out. When I do start it, I have to address some historical facts, right? And then, of course, we're going to get deep into the subject. So there's a lot to talk about today. We have a short time, as I said. The hour and the time now is like what, 7:53, and at 9 o'clock we're out here. So we have a time for just sit and kind of talk. And I want people in the comments or in the chat to ask any question that you please to ask today. Today we're feeling good, and we're talking about this. And as I said, I've been asked, right, to talk about this particular subject for a while, and because I'm more into establishing the truth about the Bible. That was one of the main things. So we didn't really get to tackle this, whatever this is. So, but no, why not? So we're going to talk about it because people keep asking me, talk about this, you should talk about this. So we're going to talk about it, right? And we're talking about woman, right? That's what we're talking about. The woman. Right? Oh, glorious and amazing woman. That's what we're talking about here today. I'm happy. I'm feeling good today. It's a Friday, and welcome. And everyone that's out there and watching, remember, your questions is very valuable to us, right? Your input is very valuable. So we'll definitely take time to respond to you as you ask any question in the chat. We can always talk about it, discuss it, because as I said, welcome to the naked truth, right? So woman, right? And as you can see the title there, what is a woman? And this is a problem in mainstream media of recent, and not only of recent, but a while now, right? It's been a problem, right? It's been a huge problem, and it's been a huge debate, right? And other people who claiming the identity, right, of a woman, you understand, and seeking for rights. Greetings, my brother, greetings. And they're seeking rights, right, over the natural, biological woman, right? They're seeking rights over the woman. So, hola, and welcome, right? So we have to talk about this, man, and we have to defend the woman, because the woman, right, they're the giver of life, right? We want to say the giver of life, right? But they're the entrance to where the earth that you see today and how populated it is. They are your contributors of this, right? They are the nurturers in the earth. You know what I mean? So they keep the cycle of life going. You understand me? So that people exist today. So they're doing their duty, right? Naturally, they're doing their duty. Yeah, welcome, my brother. Greetings to you. Yes, good evening, Carlos. Good evening, good evening, good evening. So as I said, this may be controversial to some people, but to me, it's not controversial at all. Because the truth can never be controversial, right? The truth is the truth. People who don't like the truth will say, well, this is not how we feel about it. We don't deal with feelings here. We're dealing with the truth. We're dealing with reality, right? That's what we're dealing with here. So it's our duty to sit here with you guys and discuss what the truth is. So we're talking about, let's start out like this, women. We talk about the women rights movement. Now, many of you guys, today's topic is, what is a woman? That's today's topic. So I'm looking for some input from you guys to ask any questions that you choose to ask, and we can definitely, debate it or talk about this, right? So let's start out with the women's right movement. So basically, women back in the early days, even probably ancient, as far as probably ancient, they want to, matter of fact, we're not going to the ancient times, but let's talk about modern day, in the early 40s, early 30s, start from the 30s up, right? Matter of fact, start from the 20s up, right? So women were kept out of a lot of things, right? When this society was emerging, it was men always in secrecy doing what they do. The woman is always at home taking care of the kids, and rightfully so, right? Now the woman right movement started out when white women felt that they had no place. They felt that they wanted to be contributors, or probably want to work and do things within the society that they were cast aside or tossed aside, as if they didn't have the intelligence or the capacity to think, to do anything beside nurturing a child. They were fed up. They decided that they wanted change. They wanted to have the privilege to do what a man do, right? They wanted to do something. If men could work, they feel like they want to be, in the same space, right? So we talk about the women rights movement, and they stand up, and you know the history. I don't want to go deep into it. You know about Sojourner Truth, from there, and her famous speech that she made, "Ain't I a woman? Ain't I a woman?" So yeah, we know that, right? So women has fought, clearly so, that they wanted to have their rights. They think it was deserving for them to have rights, and they did stand up and fought and kind of get that rights. Now, here we are in this time, present moment, right? Where it is so ironic, right? That the system that were set up by men, right, gave women their rights. And when I said rights, let me say partially giving them rights, right? Partially. And then these men one day thought about it and said, wait a minute, why are we giving women, their rights? Right? So they decided, right? You know what? Let's dress like women and put on wigs and call ourselves women and take away the rights from them back again. So there's men, wolves in sheep clothing, right, who have granted these women their rights partially, and then they emulate the woman, right? Dressing, mimicking her mannerism, and then trying to outdo her as if she don't exist at all, right? They're trying to outdo the woman, saying that they are a woman and everybody within the society should accept this. Where does that leave women, right? And I could get in deeper into it when we're talking about sports and other things. So women can't have anything for themselves at all. And this happens because women support a lot of things that they should not support. And now this is just blown up in their faces. Now you have men challenging women, saying that they're women, right? And it's an ongoing debate. And this ongoing debate hasn't been resolved as yet because people are afraid within the media, in mainstream media, to speak the truth on these topics. So they try to go around every time they'll try to shortcut or go around the questions and give you some answers that don't even make sense, right? So you ask them, so what is a woman? By definition, right? They said it's a adult female, right? Very simple. It's an adult female. That's what a woman is. Adult female. It still doesn't get across even people who utilize the English language, right? A lot of times there are words, right, that people are very ignorant, when it comes to certain word, and their perception of things is very different. So you can use a certain words and people interpret it wrong, right? They don't get it. You hear the English language because you grew up, right? Hearing your parents, your neighbors, people within your society speaking English, so you adapt this and you speak it. A lot of people at times don't know the meaning of a lot of words that they use. They just utilize them because they hear in conversation people use these terms. And if you should ask them, okay, what is the meaning of these words? They can't tell you, right? So let me explain to you. And there's a word even today, and there's many, but just pick one that people use out of context and the idea behind this word and the way they think. So you understand what modern day, academia can do to the mind. I tell you, it's a program right here. So there's a word called discovery, right? And a lot of people have problem with this word, discovery, right? And I'm talking about people from the West Indian, people from the West Indies, people in the Americas who have a problem with this word. Now, they would say, when we talk about Christopher Columbus, it's associated. This word is most popular associated with Christopher Columbus, right? And his discovery in the Western world here, in the Americas and other places. So when this term is used, a lot of people feel, upset. A lot of people get upset. A lot of them get upset. Why? Why do they get upset? Because they say, how could Christopher Columbus discover somewhere where there's people? That's the problem. It's a word, and this one word creates a lot of problem, and sometimes you have to question a person's intelligence, right? Or what is intelligence? Or a person's understanding. What is it? Right? Now, the word discovery doesn't mean uninhabited, right? There's a problem with how we think within ourselves about something that we're trying to give meaning to, right? We're trying to give meaning to something because we feel this way, because we don't understand the English dialect to a certain degree. So using words, not understanding the meaning of the word that we're using, we often say things out of context. Discovery does not mean uninhabited, right? That's not what it means. Discovery is like you going somewhere for the first time. You experience something for the first time, somewhere, something, a food, whatever. That's what discovery is. It doesn't mean that other people didn't see it before. You're not saying, well, I discovered this for the first time and nobody else know about it. That's not the statement, right? It's merely discovered. So when Columbus said he discovered here, and then on top of that, the history supports, well, okay, he discovered. He told you, right, in the history that there were people here. So he didn't discredit that there was no one here. So this is what I'm trying to say, how people take words too personal without understanding the true meaning of the word. This is where we fall into ignorance, right? So discovery don't mean uninhabited. Anybody could discover. If I go to Europe, I'm discovering Europe for the first time. I've never been there before. If you go to Africa, you're discovering it for the first because you've never been there. Your story as an individual, you can talk about your discovery of China, of anywhere, because it doesn't mean uninhabited. And so many people think that this word means that there is nobody living there. It's uninhabited, and for the first time someone comes there. That's not what it means, my people. Right? And I'm saying that as an example. So when we say, what is a woman? Right? And we're going by definition, we say an adult female. A lot of people are not satisfied with this because it doesn't describe, because if they knew the meaning of the word, right? It does not describe, right, the attributes, right, the biology of the person, right? It doesn't describe that. We're just saying, okay, a female. What is a woman? Adult female. So, see, we have woman, we have female, right? We don't want to talk about girl because then we're going to go back to, so we're dealing with stage, and each of these stage has a word that represent the individual, right? So from childhood, right, to adulthood, right? So we have word that kind of govern, and then we have distinction between two different biological individual, right? So we have a word called gender. This is a problem now, gender, right? Now they say that gender is a social construct. People who are trying to claim the identity of the original woman, saying they have a problem with the word gender. But let me explain this to you, everyone. Gender, right? Gender does not define a person's biology, right? It doesn't. It has nothing to do with an individual or their characteristic, right? It has nothing to do with that. It's a word that we used within a language, right? So that we're able to identify things, one or two things, right? So it's share. This word share both left and right. So if you're driving down the highway and you see a sign and it said, okay, you turn left to go there and turn right, we identify. So the word gender has nothing to do with a person's biology or a person's mindset or how a person operates. It has nothing to do with that. It's just a word used as an umbrella, right? Over two individuals, right, that are distinctly different. Distinctly different, right? So when we say gender, right, that's a word. That has nothing to do with a person's biology, right? What it does, it gives us an idea, right, of what is what, right? How do we identify this? So let's talk about the nakedness of what gender is, right? So gender. Now let's talk about male and female, right? And then we can break down male and female as well. Because if we're going to say, well, it's an adult male and an adult female, that's what a man is. So we go back to man again. So man is all of these things are titles, right? they have the whatever premises, it is, right? It's titles, right? The individual is completely different from all the titles that you want, but is a way that we use a language to identify things. Okay. For instance, we may call orange something different here. In another country, they call it different, right? People find words to label things so that they could. I can't be telling you about the orange, right? You have never seen it. You don't know the name of it. We're living in a society where these are the things that exist around us. So how do we identify what the orange so we can say, well, yeah, that's what it is. So if I'm telling you, oh, well, this thing, it's round and when you cut it, it has seeds and there's juice. If you squeeze it, there's juice come out. You can eat the fruits inside of it. But you have to take the skin, and when you're peeling the skin, it's kind of, there's a color, orange color, a yellow color that it has, and there's rime and stuff that comes out of the skin. And if it gets in your eye, it could burn your eye. I mean, it's very simple. As people, right, living within a society that we're utilizing a language to communicate, it's only natural that we would label things, right? So that we'd understand. When a person say orange, they say, oh, orange. So I know what you're talking about when you use this term. Because we all agree that this is the word, right, that we use to call this particular fruit, right? Orange is an orange, right? And we all agree to this. So we could say, well, oh, social construct, you could say that. But what does that do, whether it's social construct or not? It means that we have labeled these items and fruits and things so we can identify them, right? So that we won't be lost. That generation after won't be lost knowing what are they talking about. We don't know. No, names can change after a period of time. We know that. People change name. For whatever absurd reasons, they change names, right? So when we speak about gender, right, we're talking about two things, right? Under the umbrella of gender, right? Two distinct things, or someone, or people, or whatever you want to call it, right? We're dealing with two. And there is a distinct difference between the two. This is why we have gender. We're discussing someone or two things that are different. Now, under gender, we're dealing with male and we're dealing with female, right? And a male, under the title male, which is a word, represent an individual that look a certain way. Under the title female, right? This title represent an individual that looks different, right? How do we know which one is which? Because they're completely different. So if you take their clothes off, you will see the difference, right? We don't have to get into all these rhetorics to explain it. We don't look the same. I have beard, you don't. You have breasts, I don't. Your shape, your body, the way your body curve is different from a male. We're different. We're not the same. Physically, we're not the same. Mentally, we're not the same either. We're completely different, unless you want to lie looking at what you see there in front of you, saying that's not what it is when it's actually what it is. When they ask the questions about what's a woman, and they will give you the definition according to their definition, an adult female. What does that mean, though? Does it give, a person who asking this question an idea that this particular word relate to someone, right, that is biologically unique, right? They carry things that the other, what you call sex or male, don't carry. There are things that they have that you don't have. Maybe these are things that these, what you call them, reporters should address when someone asks questions. But they tend to ask these questions as if they're going to get a certain particular answer from it. A woman is a woman. Woman, female, titles. She is uniquely different from a male, title, individual, a biological person that exists within a physical world. Uniquely different in appearance, right? In appearance, if you look with your eyes, you can tell. Even if you're blind and the person talk and you could feel them, you're going to tell. You understand? So it's not difficult to answer a question honestly. And these people, they can't answer the question honestly. Now, a woman, she possesses certain traits, right? She possesses certain anatomy, different from a male. So they will answer questions like, okay, well, you can't say that a woman, right? And I don't know why they split it up, woman, female, and all these nonsense where they just give one word with, and it's underneath, gender, right? But there's two categories, right? We're talking about male and we're talking about, so these two categories, on the woman, on the gender, right? We're dealing with woman, we're dealing with female, we're dealing with girl, right? And under these three titles, right? All their biological traits are there. Should be there, right? So when we say woman, we're looking at everything else different. When we say a man, right? We're looking at everything else different. Now we know that the woman can give birth. They will contest this idea. So what about the woman that can't? This is the dumbest thing that a person can ever ask. So what about everybody? Not everybody is going to be fertile. But this doesn't take away that the woman is not a woman, because she have things that are not medically converted, right? These are things that she were born as physically born with. These are not things that were given to her by operation or by medical convert. It's something that she were born with. Naturally, she was born with this. She didn't go to a physician or whoever and tell him, oh, she need an operation and she needs surgery to get these things. They're naturally there. The female, the woman, the girl, they have eggs, right? Eggs that got fertilized by who? The male. She cannot fertilize her own eggs, right? So she carry unique things that are different from the male. This makes her who she is. She's a woman, and a pretender cannot replace her because they put a wig on or try to emulate a person's mannerism means that you are that. You can't be. If you're a biological male, you cannot be a biological female. It's crazy. It's madness. You understand me? For a person to even think that way. You could call yourself whatever you want. You could say whatever you want about yourself. But you cannot replace the biological woman because you wear a dress, right? And you did some surgery thinking that you did a surgery, it's still not the same. You cannot, first of all, you cannot produce either. That's one of the main things. They could surgically place a womb inside of you. It's not going to be the same because do you know that even the skeleton of a woman is completely different from the one of a male? You understand me? Her rib cage expand. So when she's pregnant, that happens. A male bone density, you understand me, is different from a woman's. Her rib is going to expand. The male rib didn't make for that. It wasn't made to expand because a male cannot get pregnant. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? They cannot get pregnant. So we don't talk about whatever medical alteration, procedures that they have put themselves through and claiming the title of a woman. Respect the woman. If you want to be whatever you want, go and do it. Call yourself some other name. But if this is the title that we're using, right, for the individual that have some unique biological traits, different from the male that has unique biological traits as well, they're two different between them. They're not the same. They cannot be in the same as far as identifying. You understand? As far as identity, you are not the same. We can see with our physical eyes, yet society and those who are in power are trying to force this on people, right? For us to agree, knowing it's a lie, but yet we should agree because of what? Oh, they are people too, and feelings, and we always care about this, and we put the truth aside because, oh my God, it's so sad and feelings. But is it right because someone feel a certain way? We should support them. You feel, anyone could feel. So it mean anybody could decide what they want to be in the society, and they get, oh, we just go out, protest, and we'll get our rights, and that's it. Why? Why the thief, right? Why the thief can't say, well, it's my will, God-given will that I need to rob someone. I need to take something away. Why I don't have the freedom to do this? They're going to say that, well, you're harming someone or you're doing something else, right? You could say, well, I wasn't born with clothes. Can I walk naked? I feel more free doing that. No. It's what, it's what they need when they need it. You understand me? They will stand up and say, well, this is what I want. If it's benefit me, it's good for me. Do I care about anyone else? No. It's good for me. When it's beneficiary to me, then I'll go out and I'll talk about it and I'll debate about it and I'll try to get my rights based on that. But what about other people? Right? Women should be respected. You gave them rights, and then you dress men in dresses, pretending that they're women to take away that right from them. And women, ladies out there, I'm telling you, you sit there and being complacent in the whole thing. And because you're afraid to speak the truth. When you go in public spaces, you don't want to say anything because you care about other people's feelings. But you will have no place in the coming future. You will have no rights in the coming future because these men are going to replace you, and all the opportunities that you're supposed to get as women, A person that pretending to be a man is going to take that away from you. How are you going to feel? What future will be there for your daughters as they grow up in a society like this and become adults? What is there for them? Women can't even claim that they're women anymore. Soon they're going to tell you, well, I don't think you're a woman. We should claim the title and you have to find another name to identify yourself by, right? I mean, we're talking about generation and generation of people who acknowledge this, right? Know the reason why we say it's a woman because there's certain, biological trait that she carries different from what we say male is. But the woman has not been respected. Her rights has been slowly snatched away. A woman is a woman. A man cannot pretend to be a woman and claim the title of being a woman. Go claim some other title. And the fact that the audacity, right? The audacity that they would say, we're talking about binary, non-binary, and all this nonsense, nouns, pronouns, bullcrap. And we're supposed to you, and they're forcing their agenda. And I'm telling you, it's a small percent of people. Nobody's going out telling you not to be what you want or claim within your own imagination that's what you want. But coming in a society where we are groomed already, knowing right from wrong, knowing who is who, not just by the term or the word that we use to describe the individual that exists under it, but, you understand me? Physical interaction shows us who the woman is, right? Our existence, the fact that people live in this world today, and when the world, in the beginning, when the world started out, right? Or when human beings begin on the planet, according to the Bible, right? There was only two individuals. And people multiply to what they are today. So woman contribute to all of this, to this present moment today. So we're talking about the woman of her space, her rights within her space to be herself. She was naturally born this way. She should embrace herself. You understand me? She should be confident with herself. She need to say, I'm a woman. You need to say that because we already know we can identify this by looking. We can identify because we have experience with women. We know who they are. We can see not someone dressing up, in a wig or a dress and claiming such a title, such a noble title, such a virtuous title, saying that you are when you have nothing, none of the physical traits you have, not one single one of them you have. Oh, well, you could go to your doctor or whomever and get an operation to remove whatever you want and to put it wherever you want to. I don't want to get into, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But for you to do these operations and think that somehow you're credible enough to claim that you are, and then debating with women as if they're not supposed to say that you're not. Every woman have the right to tell you, say, no, you're not. You're not a part of our species. Right? And then to the level where things are going now. Sharing the same bathroom. Men, right? Men who wanted, right? Where women fought for their rights, right? And these are men, right? Who decided, okay, we're going to dress like women and we're going to take their rights. And guess what? In our own perversion, we're going to fight for rights to use their bathroom, right? We're going to go in their restroom as well. So we have the opportunity to see them, right? We will have the opportunity to see what we want just by putting on a dress, just by saying that we're women. We could go in there and we could be able to feed our eyes with all the woman delicacies, right? We could feed our eyes and we'll be good. Women, I hope you guys can wake up. I hope you could wake up and see what's going on. And, I know you are the nurturers. And your empathy is very deep. But you have to understand what is right from wrong. When you sympathize these people and you're supporting them, you're empowering them, right? To take over. Soon you will be forgotten. Soon they're going to tell you that they have ways now that men can be pregnant surgically. What's going to happen now? What's going to happen to the world? What's going to happen? So let's be real. A man is a man and a woman is a woman. And the fact that they say when you tell them, oh, well, they are transgender, you know, the fact that they call themselves transgender, it tells you that there is a transformation. There's something abnormal about, their present state. There's an alteration, right, that took place. Why there's a term or the word trans exists, right? And then gender. So there's someone who went through some medical transformation to become what they're claiming. So gender, trans, gender. But you cannot become a woman. You can be a trans, right? Gender, because under gender there's male and female. There's a title that represents you as a male. So you can use the word gender because it doesn't makes you a woman. Using the word gender does not makes you a woman, right? Gender basically tells you, well, the word gender. So we're dealing with two people or two things operates under this word. One is different from the other, right? That's what the word is, gender. And under gender, we have male and we have female. You understand? And under female, we have woman. Under male, we have man, right? Under woman, we have girl, right? Under man, we have boy. So all these titles, right, and labels pertain to these individuals, but yet they possess different traits. We're not the same in any way. Physically, we're not. Mentally, we're not either. And we have a great debate about this. Women think different from men. We don't think the same way. People in general don't think the same way. But there's a difference between how we think, right? This is why you have a lot of men who are killers, murderers, and do all sorts of things. You don't find that if you're looking to see a woman do the same thing. No, they're probably a one or two woman out of probably every 1 million or 2 million that you might find do something like that. But males are more violent, right? Isn't that true? Males are more violent. So it has to do with what? The mind. We don't think alike, right? Everything that we do comes from here. So we don't analyze things the same way because it's a male society, right? Or it's a man's world according to them, right? The woman is grown up. She was brought up in this system, in this society, right? She wants to grab onto something. She feel like she's capable. So she wants rights too, right? Which naturally she should get. She should even be a topic in the first place. Which society men claim that they're civilized, right? And they deal with justice and they're fair. Yet there are people who are fighting for equal rights. Doesn't make sense, does it? A civilized society, right? With people of high intellect, right? And there are people within that society, individuals, human beings, right? That are fighting to get equal opportunity and rights. What type of society is this? What is this? In your own society, where you live, where you share your ideas, you work, you contribute, right? You have to fight to get rights here. For what? Yet everybody say they're civilized, right? Everyone say they're civilized. To what degree we're using this term civilized? To what degree? What does it encompass? We're talking about people have to stand up, protest to get what they want. This is a messed up place, a corrupted place, a place where people feel they could do whatever, however they want, live whatever, and you have to understand that. This is the society that you lived in. You understand me? But I must say, women should have their space as men have their space. And it's so, I mean, just to look at, they take women for a joke. They surely take you guys for a joke. Surely take you guys for a joke. Because, you have these transgenders who will come out and claim that they're women and they identify as some woman. I don't know how you identify as a woman when you don't even have the things that a woman have. But anyways. And they're getting rights over the biological woman. They're getting more rights. But guess what? The men that are mimicking the woman are getting more rights. But the women that are mimicking men are not getting that rights. What's going on? Is it because the man, right? The same man, right, is in control? He controls everything. So he's still not giving even the woman pretend to be a man. She haven't much talk either, right? You understand what I'm saying? Even you said you're a lesbian or a dyke or whatever you want to call it, right? And you're pretending to be a man. You're not. You don't have that rights. But a guy who pretends to be a woman having more rights, right? So this rules or this law that they pass for these whoever these people are to use the same restroom as young girls and young boys. Who are they? It's crazy. So a woman, right, is physically uniquely different from a man, right? She can get pregnant every 28 days, probably 2 times for the month, right? She will have her menstruation. These are things that men can't have, and the pretending woman, or the women that are pretending that they are women, or men that are pretending, you don't have this. So you cannot claim that you are a woman because of your mannerism or because you're mimicking someone. And they'll go as far as telling you that they were born this way. Oh, you was born this way. Really? Who are they talking to? People that have sense or people that don't have sense? Nobody was born this way. No one was born this way. This is something that you adapt. You adapted it. Okay, you were born and there was no woman and there was a tree. You're saying that you're a tree as well, right? You were born or you were hatched from an egg, right? What would you do? Because you've seen something. This is why people adapt. We're talking about adaptation and people deciding to do. This is a decision that these people are making. This is not something that they were born. They will tell you this to comfort themselves. But believe me, take that same child and put him in the jungle and see if he's going to become a woman with no woman around and see what's going to happen. Just do that. Nobody was born this way. This is a choice. People who murdered is a choice they made. People who sell drugs is a choice they made. People who raped is a choice they made. Do you understand me? Everybody decide what they want to do. It's their choice. This is not something that you chose to do this. Why you're struggling, you chose this. But they'll tell you this. They were born like that. No, they didn't. No, they did not. Even as a baby, right? Even you and I, we were born. What did we know? Nothing. You came into this world, right? You knew nothing. You can't even talk. But you learn and what? When you become what, 5, 6, 7, you know you're talking, and as you become an adult, you know more things than what you knew when you came here. We adapt everything that you know now is what you adapt within the society. We weren't born like that. We didn't born with these ideas inside of us. We're able to analyze things based on what we see. A person that invents something is because they're doing things. And the cause for lightening their burden, they said, well, you know, this is, maybe there's a better way. So we have the intelligence to rationalize, right? This is what we want, but maybe we can put something here because, you know, it's difficult to get from here to there. Let's think of a way to make it easier. Inventions. We wasn't born with these things, but because we put ourselves in a situation, we're able to figure ourselves out of it. How to make it better, right? You jump in the water, right? You can't swim, you're gonna sink. Okay, maybe we can make a life jacket that people that wants to go in the water, even if they can't swim, at least they'll stay afloat. Ideas. He wasn't born with that. He wasn't born with it, right? You wasn't born with these ideas because you're born in a society where you were able to encounter things. You understand? It forced you, right, to adapt, to think about, okay, what's next? What can we do to make? How do we build bridge? I want to get on the other side. How do we get there? We have to take boats or bamboo raft or whatever. Let's figure a way where we don't have to do that. What if I want to carry a load across and I just figure out, oh, maybe we can use the donkey or the horse to just ride across. Let's build a bridge. Ideas come. But this situation that we're put in that force us to think and to make our lives easier, right? We weren't born this way. In fact, when you're a child or a baby, you have no idea of where you are. You have no consciousness of who you are, what you're doing. Put the baby right at the staircase and tell me, is that child have some kind of idea who he is or what he, or what's going on around him? He have no knowledge of anything that's happening around. He'll walk right down the staircase and fall. You think a person that is smart enough, intellectual enough is going to do that? You think a person that was born a certain way that they claim wouldn't have had the idea from they were young to know what it is that they are? You can't. It's impossible for anyone to say this or to claim this idea that you were born this way. Nobody was born this way. We are born with a certain trait, right? Physical traits. But as we adapt things within this world, in the society, now, I mean, you can do this experiment yourself. You can take some people from here, young babies, bring them to Africa and see what they'll become, and bring some into China and see what they will become. It's going to be different. If you didn't grow up around certain things, I mean, you're not expecting it. You're not looking for it. If you didn't grow up in a place where these things were, presented in front of you, right? Then it's not something that you go, oh, well, I need this. You need it because it's here. You need car now because you know that car exists. Do you understand? You need these things because they're there now. They're there, right? You can access these things, so you need them. They become a part of what? Your programming, right? Now you're absorbing information because there are new things coming in. Okay, we're talking about back in the early 90s. Go back to the 80s, right? There's no cellular phone. There's not one cellular phone around, right? You'd be surprising you tell some people today, well, back in the 80s, there was no phone like this, social media thing where you could go on, even internet, right? There were nothing like that. Do you understand me? And then you had beeper, right? And then beeper becomes, later on, you had cellular phone in between there somewhere. It wasn't something that was accessible for people. It was, mostly the military, right? So, and then these things comes out, right? As time goes by, people improve more and more and more. They weren't born like that. They decide, well, we need this. Maybe we could turn the beeper into a phone and find a way and how it works and internet. You know what I'm saying? All of these things came about. So when a person is born today in this modern time with all that's happening, he's going to have these things in him, right? It's going to be a part of him. Growing up, It won't be a secret about what's happening around him, right? As far as technology and engagement in other things, right? But a person that wasn't born in this means that whatever they're doing, wherever they are, it's an adaptive behavior. We adapt to these things. Nobody was born anyway, homosexual or whatever, woman, whatever nonsense. Nobody was born like that. People adapt to what they want. It benefits you to say that you like women or you praise women to that much that you feel like you want to be one. Good. You can say that. You can say, I admire the woman so much, man, the way she moves, things that she does. It just, it inspired me that, I don't know, I feel like, mimicking her just make me feel free, whatever. But, at the same time, being honest to yourself, telling yourself, knowing that there are things that she possesses that you don't. So therefore, you can never say that you are a woman. You can say, well, I love women. I adore women to the point that I sit and I study them. I try to walk like them. I try to, speak like them. I try to do everything. If these things weren't around, how would you say that you were born this way? Basically, you came into this world and you're adapting to these things. You're adapting. So it's very simple, my brothers and sisters out there. The woman has her place, cannot be taken away by anyone. And women should be more affirmative in their actions, right? They should stand up when something is going wrong and speak up about the truth. Don't care about nobody's feelings. Teach your children the truth and don't care about the feelings of other people, because this is the problem. When you're afraid to tell someone something, you're not helping them, because you're emotionally distorted. You're not helping the person by telling them that. You're not helping them. Someone, come around you and they're speaking in your face and their breath don't smell too good. You should tell them so that they could do something about it, right? You're helping the person to change, whatever it is that, that they're going through. You don't tell them this, they go in front of somebody else and get embarrassed. Now everybody's talking about them. What type of friend would you be? What type of person would you be? You think it's good because you're caring about his feelings and you're not telling the person, well, I think you should do this, because this doesn't smell too good. You should take care of it. Maybe he don't know. Maybe he can't smell it himself. Maybe he needs someone to sit and to explain it. Like, okay, then you will take action. A person who really don't want that, they'll take action to correct whatever it is that's happening to them. But when we lie or when we agree with because of someone's feeling, that's not being honest. You're not being honest because you're supporting someone. I don't know. What do you think? We all say it. A lot of people, I don't care. People do whatever they want. Of course, everybody could do what they want. That's not the point, right? The fact that everyone can do what they want, the fact that everyone can be honest about things instead of sitting down and lying and supporting things that we know. We know it's not true. We know it. You know it. And there are so many hypocrites out there. A lot of these people on the mainstream media, I must say, a lot of them are hypocrites. They won't speak the truth. A lot of them will tell you, "Oh, I have a lot of gay friends." They're lying. They don't have no gay friends. But they will say this because they're afraid to lose their job. Why? Because this thing that they sit back and try not to say anything about, right? This thing that they didn't stand up in the first place and say anything about spiral out of control now. Now you say anything that you should have said before things reach to this point. Now, guess what? If you say it now, you'll lose your job. And that's one of the things. Everybody afraid, if I say this, they're probably going to say things about me. I'm going to lose my job. You're empowering them more every time. The more you stay silent, the more you think about, they have feelings too. All of us have feelings. We're talking about right or wrong. Anybody could do what you want. in your own private space. It's your business. Nobody has to go out in the public to display their sexuality. And I'm talking about heterosexual, do not need to go in a public space to speak about their sexuality. We don't need to protest, right, to get any rights based on our sexuality. We're talking about people that are trying to change the narrative. And we're talking about thousands of years of tradition and custom. We have new people who are coming in and decided that this is not how it's supposed to be. And our children been forced. They don't care about you, the elders, and because you're going to die within the next 100 years. You're not here anymore. So everyone that's in their 70s, 50s, right, won't be here in the next 100 years. Majority of 99.9% of those people will be already gone, right? So, the programming is not for you. It's for the young generation. This is why they started out in the schools to normalize these ideas. So within the next 2 generations or so, nobody will be debating, talking about this. Be a normal thing. Oh, okay, we see it. This is how they normalize lies, and lies become truth, right? And lies become a reality to people. Delusional people. Do you understand what I'm saying? We have to pay attention to what's happening in our society. And as I said, freedom to do whatever you want, go ahead. But is it just when it's convenient for people or some people that they could do what they want and they will get support? And what about other people that want other things? Do they get the support? Because now I see men who are taking certain position, especially in women's sport. And I'm saying to you, a lot of women, the problem is, and it's one of the main problems is because a lot of women out there are afraid to stand up. And because of the competition, a man and a woman are not supposed to be competing. There's no competition between the two sexes. We're both different, right? Both of us are different. We're not the same. And this competition, this constant competition is why everything is falling apart. A woman should know that I'm a woman and that's who I am. There is nothing else. You cannot compete with a male because the male is different, right? You cannot be a male because he's different. He thinks different. You think different. We're not the same. But I said, physically, mentally, we're not. Nowhere close. You understand? Now, we can talk about, for example, we have the tiger, we have the leopard, right? And we have the normal, what we know as house cat. If you're a cat, right? You're a cat, right? That's what you are. If you're a dog, you're a dog. You can't go and say, well, I'm a lion, and because you want to compete with the lion, and then there's okay. If you be yourself, you'll see the best. You'll see result, right? Your true potential will come out when you embrace yourself. When you tell yourself that this is who I am. Is it a lie when you look at yourself? That's who you are. When you acknowledge yourself as a male or a female, that's who you are, right? You can't be anything else. You can't tell yourself whatever you want, but you have the things that the Creator Himself created you with. There is a Creator that gave you these things, right? And you know the end result of everything. So once you interact with a male, what happened? There's a process of pregnancy. There's a process of birth, right? So we know all these things, right? So it's natural. You don't have to explain it to me because we already know. All of us experience this. This is not a topic, right? We experienced it. We've seen it with our own eyes. The reason why I am here is because a man and a woman get together. My brothers are here. It's because a man and a woman got together. The reason why anyone here is because a man and a woman get together. This is the process. We have known this. This is not something nobody has to tell you. I have seen it. You have seen it. This is not a lie. So if I speak on this topic, who would dare try to hate or try to say, well, we don't like this? But that's the fact. That is the truth, right? I'm here, not because I know, right? Not even my mother don't know. My father do not know because they didn't create me. They gave birth to me, but they didn't create me, right? So this is different. So the Most High, there is a creator. I don't know how you want to look at it, however you want to take it. There is a creator. The fact that you cannot change anything about yourself, physically or mentally, it means that you're not in control of anything at all, right? You can have, you broke your finger, you can't heal back your bones. Heal it back. Even when you get a cut and the cut begins to heal, you don't even know the process. You don't even know what's happening. What type of chemical is fusing together to create this, make your flesh heal? You don't know. You have no idea. So there is a God, right? There is a creator. You call him God, whatever, because God is just a title, right? But there is a creator. Creator is just a title again. What I'm saying is, there is someone that is responsible for us. There is a designer, someone that designed us a certain way, to be a certain way. But because of the freedom, because we have freedom to think, we can decide what we want. We could even turn around and disrespect the designer because he gave us freedom. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's just like a designer who designed computers, designed cellular phone for people to use. So the phone is a slave, becomes slave. What if the phone was alive, right? But because the designer who designed it said, this is your duty for the rest of your life, you have to be a phone, right? And you have to serve people. When they punch your button, you must give command to them, right? You must allow that to happen so that they could make call and use you. And if you fall out their hands and you get damaged, they throw you away. You die, right? There is a designer behind everything. A person designed a cellular phone a certain way, right? For the convenience of people that are going to use it. The creator designed man a certain way for his convenient, right? How we want them to function, how to be. Giving them an understanding. You understand me? Giving them eyes, giving them nose, ears, giving them everything that he thought is necessary for them to survive. And then he put them in an ecosystem. This is where you are. This is where you're going to grow. And then you tell them, be fruitful and multiply. That's not his wish. That's his command. Multiply. So because your days are short, right? And now you're two and you can become many by interaction, right? You multiply and become what you are. This is what the world is today. So there is a designer, right? And this designer requires a certain thing. The fact that male and female is here, it means that that's how it's supposed to be. Anybody who's going against the grid, it means that they're opposing even what the designer put in place. As I said, you have to say, you have to use the term God, right? But there's a designer, and the fact that he is, because you cannot give me the ingredient to one single ear follicle. Neither any scientist that's out there. They could call whatever, they could label this single strand, a black, slim, silky thing, any name they want to, right? They could give whatever name and talk all kind of crazy big language or whatever they want to describe it. But listen, they cannot give you the ingredient for that. The ingredient for a person's eye, you can't give it. Well, what's the ingredient for an eye? What's the ingredient for bones? What's the ingredient for teeth? You can't, right? So there is a designer. This is not just by default. We're not here because we just happen to be here, right? Someone designed us perfectly. Look around you. Provided fruits, trees that grow, that grows and bear fruits. People that bear their own fruits as well. The animals that bear their own fruit and produce, after their kind. There is a designer, my brothers and sisters out there, and this designer intended for us to be a certain way. And we have seen it. And if we follow, well, this designer wants us to do this, and this action that we have taken with each other, I've seen a result. I've seen the result of me being with a woman. What the result is? What is the result for two men to be together? Is there one? Is there a result? Be honest. Is there any result when two men come together? Is there anything fruitful there? No, there is nothing. You call it love as if you do understand what love is. People, oh, they're in love and what love is. Do you know what love is? But that's a word that we use, and we're going to talk about that word next week. You understand me? What this love is? I believe we have we did talk about something in some past videos, but we're going to talk about love again because I need to reiterate some information for you guys who are coming in late, so you can get, a clearer understanding. So it's very silly, right, for anyone to claim to be something, because a dog would be a dog, 4 feet, and they could run fast and they could bark very loud. A lion is the same. He has fangs that could punch out the throat or neck, blood vessel, anything. You understand me? Strong, powerful, have claws that could retract. You understand? Very powerful. You can't claim to be a lion. Lion is completely different from a tiger. Tiger is different from a lion. A dog is different from, but each of them stay in their own place, right? And they do their own thing. Now, if there is some new ideas that are coming out that men feel like they want to be a woman, okay, fine, go. But don't say that you're a woman. Claim another name. Do you understand me? Claim some other name as they're coming with they, them, and all these nonsense. Go claim a name for yourself and stop disrespecting the woman. Leave the woman them alone. You understand me? They have been through a lot already. They have been through so much, and you're coming, claiming that you give them rights. Now you're coming to take it back, dressing up in women's apparel and trying to claim that you are them, taking back their rights, or taking away from them. No. Go find something to do with yourself. If you can't figure out yourself, well, it seems like there's a mental blockage there that you can't figure yourself out. You can't figure yourself out that you're looking at someone else and saying that that's who you are. No. Can a black person say that he's a white person and say, well, I'm white. Why can't I do this? Right? Why can't I be accepted? Because we're different. Why don't we say that? Why don't we go out and protest and say we're white and lie to the world, and even though they don't like it, but because they care so much about feelings. Oh my God, we have to. If we don't accept them, they're gonna think we're racist. Because you don't agree with something doesn't mean that you're racist. It doesn't mean that you hate the person. I don't agree with you doesn't mean that I hate you. I don't like oranges doesn't mean that I'm going to go around burning every single orange tree. I don't like cherries doesn't mean that, oh my God, I hate cherries. Even I use the term hate doesn't mean anything. People use the term, yet people take it out of context. Hate, I hate cherries. I use the word hate without bias. It doesn't mean that because I said hate, there's a deep thing burning inside my heart and my soul, and I want to have nothing and I want to kill every single one of it. It doesn't mean nothing like that. People who are unfamiliar with the English language are taking words out of context because they associate the word hate with everything negative. People think it's bad. No. Because someone said, I don't like cherries, man. I hate cherries. These are expressions. Sometimes we use them casually. I hate them. Doesn't mean that you hate every single rooted inside your heart. Oh my God, from the depths of your heart, there's this hate that you want to, just kill everyone. No, my people, no. That's not how it works. So if I don't like oranges, that's my preference, right? I don't like it. Doesn't mean I hate and I want to destroy all oranges or all orange tree that exists. Oh, that's nothing to do with that. I just don't like. It's not my taste. I don't like the taste of it. If I say I don't like cherries, it's the same thing. If I say that I don't agree with you I don't agree with you because I don't see your logics, right? I don't see it, and it doesn't make sense to me. You stay in your lane, do what you do, but don't try to come against me because you want me to. Oh well, you have to see. Isn't this some form of dictatorship? This country always talk about dictator and all of these things and communism and all, but they present the same thing. They present the same thing that they're talking against, right? The same thing. Oh, we're not dictator, we're not. But yes, you are. This is a dictator country. When you have politicians and people out there in the social space telling people, not forcing them, oh, you have to do this, and they don't force you. Which one of those dictator country that they take away your job until, oh, well, you're not going to do this, you have no job no more. Oh, you're not going to support us, you have to get fired. What? You destroy somebody's life just because you're trying to emulate someone else? When you know within your reality that's not that what you're doing is wrong. And then you talk about love. What love exists there within you, right? That you would destroy a person who's trying to survive, work to survive, but just because they have a different in opinion, you don't like that because you want them to support you because you feel that what you're doing, something is wrong. It's questionable. This is why in your conscience, it's there. If it wasn't a problem, who cares? Who cares if someone say, oh, you heterosexual? What that's supposed to mean? I don't care. We're not looking for approval. Heterosexual is not looking for approval. Natural women are not looking for approval. So the woman, they need to go to say, well, I'm a woman. We don't have to say that. Remember Sojourner Truth? I spoke about her earlier during the women's right movement, right? And they didn't want her to go up, but she went up anyway and said, ain't I a woman? Why she had to say, ain't I a woman? Okay. Because we had racism during that time. Slavery was, at a height in the West, in the South during that time. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? When she's saying, ain't I a woman? Because she wasn't accepted. She was not accepted. So she had to tell them, listen, who I am then. Different skin shade, but I'm who? I represent the same thing. I have the same thing you have. Different color, but we have the same thing, right? We possess the same traits. Simple. We need to wake up. People need to wake up and start being more honest. You understand me? Start being more honest about things. And a lot of these reporters are liars, man, and they're wicked. Because they will come out there and they will just go to support lies and talk against them just because they're protecting their job. So your family, only your family alone should survive. What about other people? Don't they deserve to survive as well? You know what I mean? What about other people? I can't go out there to force my doctrine and my beliefs on people. No. People have a choice. People have a choice to do what they want using their rational mind, right? To analyze things, to figure out, well, this is good, this is bad. We're born this way, knowing good and bad. We know this. And we make choices. We make our own choices. But not to go there enforcing someone else's ideology, someone else's belief on another person. Yeah, we know. We just don't want to acknowledge. We don't want to stand up as individuals, and say what's on our mind because that's what the truth is. We rather, I don't want to say it because it doesn't, Yeah, we definitely we make our own choices, and you can't fight a person to make their own choices. But I don't want to participate, right, in your ideas. And if I have rights too, if you think that you have rights, what about mine? Why are you fighting against me? Why you want to block me? Why you want me to lose my job? So what is my rights? I have no rights and you have all the rights, but yet you say, right? We're talking about amendment. We're talking about all these different things outside of ourselves, right? And we're talking about rules, regulations. You're fighting me? How? A person that is filled with love, because that's what you say. We're in love. It's a person that understood love to a certain depth, right? To a certain depth, you understand love, and you're fighting me for what? What have I done to you? Because I don't agree with you. So if you don't agree with me, I should fight you and I should force you to agree. But yet there's no dictator in America, right? America is the land of the free. There's no dictator. It's not a communist country, man. People do what they want, but yet the people who have no power has to suffer, right? They had to suffer under those who have power. They have to suffer. And those who have power, they look at us as nothing. Oh, I don't care. I own the police department. We own the army. We could subjugate these people. They have to listen. We're making the rules. They're going to have to follow. We're going to mandate this. We're going to legislate laws. We're going to put things in place. They have to follow it. I don't care what they want to say. They'll go as far as your bathroom with your young daughters in there. Grown men going inside there. Not any men, any guys could put on a dress and say, oh, I identify as a woman, and go in the female bathroom and rape them and do all kind of thing. Woman, I must single you out. You have a responsibility because only you can change this. You're allowing this to happen because you're agreeing. This has nothing to do with feelings. And I'm telling you, ladies, no one was born like this. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you've been observing your life since you were growing up, you always see somebody act a certain way, right? We have seen girls done it, right? We've seen girls, right? Girls live around certain, or grew up in a family where there's a lot of boys. We see that, right? She would, exhibit traits like, and she would move a certain way, she would dress a certain way because she grew up around a lot of boys. So she more tough. She must rough around the edge, and because she had to adapt how to stand up among these boys, right? How aggressive they are. She had to become aggressive. But we notice these women, right? And they used to call him tomboy, right? They grew up. They're married, have their husband, children. They never claim the identity of being, you know what I'm saying? They never claim the identity of being a man, right? They grew up within a phase and they understood it was a phase and they were able to, get out of the phase. And that's basically what it was. So, you understand me? So that's what it is. Oh, you identify. Oh, you say, how do I identify a woman? It's very simple. You understand me? She have all the unique physical attributes that the Creator Himself created her with. It means that she have eggs. You understand me? She have a thing down there that is natural, that produce secretion naturally. You understand? She have a menstruational cycle. This is how I identify one. And if you're talking about physical, then there is a physical appearance. You can't be fooled. You understand me? There are women who have beard. There's some who don't, right? But we have women who have high testosterone level, but they're still a woman. It doesn't matter if you get a little more, you're still who you are. So you have to have a physical, unique biological traits. A woman have that. This is how we identify the woman. If you don't have that, I'm not talking about medical procedures. We're talking about something that you were born with, right? That's what we're talking about. So that's how I identify a woman. So a woman would be uniquely different, right? Physically, carrying certain physical trait that is uniquely hers and not the other part, not the other sex. Yep, born with. You have to born with it. Not no medical alteration to anything. You're born this way, right? Not the doctors, say, well, you have to do this and creating something that trying to emulate something else. Then if you weren't born like that, then you wouldn't have to do that. So I want to say, this was a run. We should have came in more earlier so we could have more time to reason with you guys. But definitely we can talk about this next week. I'm open to any questions. You guys can leave later on in the video. We have another program coming up, which is ATO. And it was a pleasure for me to sit here with you guys and talk about this. And I hope, all the women out there who are listening can, stand up, speak your mind, don't hold back, don't care about what they want to do because they can't fire all of you. So to get your rights, you all have to come together and stand up and defend yourselves, man. You understand me? You are who you are. So I definitely want to thank you all for tuning in tonight. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rosemary. Thank you so much. And, I'm looking forward to see you guys next Friday. I should talk about this some more, kind of expound more on what is a woman. We could definitely talk about that. And I hope you guys can participate, ask some questions, so we can, have a nice, beautiful dialogue here. So I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. And ATO is coming up next. So you guys stick around for the entertainment. I will be there as well. So thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to see you guys next Friday. May the Most High bless you guys, and you're going out and you're going in. And I thank you so much. And it's one love to everyone out there, man. And have a blessed weekend until next Friday. I will see you guys here on The Naked Truth. Yes, Peter, definitely. Anytime, man, just come in. Next Friday will be here. Join us. We'll be here. And thank you so much again. Much love to you all. One love and respect. And I will see you guys next Friday. So stay tuned for ATO is coming up. And I hope you guys enjoy the entertainment. Thank you so much. And I'll see you again. One love.